good day, lords and ladies, and welcome back to Pillars of Eternity. Now, as of recording this, Pillars of Eternity 2, the Dreadfire Archipelago is out. Well, I should say Pillars of Eternity 2, Dreadfire is out, which looks like it to be a very, very good game, and I suggest anyone who has enjoyed Pillars of Eternity picks it up. Also, a quick note, the reason that there wasn't a video out, like a Age of Fear 2 video out on Wednesday, there were some technical problems, so the finale of the Dwarven campaign will be up on Friday instead. But yes, I'm looking forward to playing Pillars of Eternity 2, but first we just have to get down here and deal with these looters. Okay, we're getting hit by range units already, so we've got to smack him on his ass. And go smack him. You can hit him. You've got your musket out, so you can shoot him. Right, so those two are down. Nice and quickly. If that's the case, I shall pop his ability right now. For any of those wondering, the inner circle is for combat, like it will affect enemies, and the outer circle it will affect allies for some of the spells. Right. Well, that goes in the bag. Yeah. We strip them naked. I do like this game. I'm a fan of like the traditional CRPG, like this isometric style kind of artwork. It doesn't move in the background. It reminds me a lot of the old games, such as the Neverwinter Night series and Baldur's Gate. Okay, there's a bunch of really angry people here. Hawen. Gathering around the sucking timbers of shipwreck, men and women pick through the driftwood, snatching muddy silverware, mouldy clothing and chipped pottery, and anything they can spot amongst the detritus. All eyes turn to you as you approach. The group trader nervously stares at you until at last a woman in muddy clothes steps forward and speaks. "We are Betel and where are Betel and Terran, she asks. "We were just up along the path, and we heard fighting." Her eyes narrow. Her hand moves towards the knife on her belt as she anticipates your reply. "That wreck is private property and you are looting," you declare sharply. She blinks in disbelief to looting, but this is a wreck. What value does it have? The men and women all turn to her, their faces frightened and worried. "Please, we need these supplies dearly. The storm took everything from us. It's not our desire to steal, but we are destitute. Should we let those wares just sink to the river bottom? Regardless, you are still, regardless of your need, you are still stealing from Peregund. Regardless of your need, you are still stealing from Peregund." Yeah, I mean, that's probably right. I mean, the thing is, like, Gwen Ravenheart is like, "I'm not interested in your sob stories." Hawen looks at her comrades, all nod in agreement. "Then you leave us with no choice." Right. To be honest, like, historically, like, especially in Britain, it was allowed, you were sort of allowed to do wrecking, but it was a really sort of, I won't say a dodgy area, but you had to be careful what you were doing, otherwise you could get into serious trouble. Right. Go for him. You continue to beat him up. What? Right, he's dead. They're all dead. Let's get the crates. Yeah, nice helmet. You hold on for that for now. Everything else and everything else will go in the box. The fray end of a rope drifts into the river.
Just say the word.
I mean, we could probably have been diplomatic if we wanted to, but
light, flame, and sound.
Ferry cargo. A variety of mudded goods salvaged from the wrecked ferry, primarily soggy clothes and dirty food. Nah.
Just say the word.
I mean, to be honest, at the end of the day, it's someone else's goods. I mean, historically in Britain, it used to be if it was wreckage, if it was a wreck, you had salvaging rights. They changed that recently after there was a container ship that went aground on the south coast of Britain, and people were starting to loot, like, people came along to loot it from all over the country because it was basically being advertised, and a lot of the people whose cargo it was got upset because obviously they were seeing people stealing this stuff, even though technically at the time you were allowed to do it under the law. So they have altered it a bit. But it's just how it is. I mean, historically, like, people could, like, salvage stuff. They changed some bits and pieces. Like, historically it was off and on. At some point in time it was permitted. At other times they would hang you for it, even if you had, like, a meter of rope. Like, there was one point, I think it was, like, in the 18th, 19th century, that if they caught you with, like, even a meter of rope stolen from a shipwreck, they would hang you or deport you. It was pretty tough. Okay, I'm still looking for it.
Just say the word.
Okay. I suppose we just had to pick it up, do we, then? I bet this would have changed our... Actually, no. It hasn't changed a thing. Like... Won't have changed a thing at all. So we do just need to go and grab it, then. Find the wreckage. I mean... The thing is, if you take other people's property, you should be prepared for the consequences that come with it. There's no point saying a sob story and expecting people to go kindly on you. So I take it back to her. So the cargo. Would these happen to be your wares? Pigger's eyes twitch with excitement as he drops your supplies down in front of her. Thank you. I begin to think that it all sunk into the bottom of the river. She reaches into a tunic pocket and hands you something. Consider this a token of my gratitude. I will reward you properly when you visit me at my shop in Defiance Bay. Right, does that change our... No, it doesn't. I mean, to be honest, the looters, if you want to loot people's stuff, you had to be smart about it. No matter when in history, looters were always... Being caught as a looter is a really bad thing. Like, a lot of people really hate looters, and for good reason. Because, historically, if you're on a battlefield and you have been wounded and left behind, and a looter found you, a looter is just as likely to slit your throat and steal your stuff as they are to... I mean, it depended. Some looters would, like, take you prisoner and, like, to sell you back to your family, or sell you as a slave, depending on the time period. Other people just literally just slit your throat and steal your stuff, like, can steal your shoes. You shouldn't really feel sorry for looters. They're... A lot of the time they weren't particularly pleasant people. I mean, like, if you look at, like, the Battle of Waterloo, which is one of the most important battles in the 19th century, after the battle, you had people going around just pulling out people's teeth. Like, not even their gold teeth, just their normal teeth. They'd go around and just rip people's teeth out because they were making... It was a popular demand to have healthy teeth, as they saw it, for making dentures. So you had people who were going around with pliers pulling dead teeth out of... dead men's teeth out of their heads. So, yeah, I mean... Oh... Got more of these guys. Oh, he's a tough one. I think it'd be bad. Just cut him up a bit then. There's a pot. Ooh. Fine hatchet. And some camping supplies. Right. So what was this hood we picked up? Hermit's hat. Also known as the Cudgerman's coif and Bulwer's bonnet. This clinging chapeau is tight-fitted, fastened by an remarkable wizard who believed the only thing holding him back from a successful career in arcane art was his lack of focus. Lack of focus, and it pretty distracts him with small-minded types. Infused with this misanthropic essence, this hat has filled its desire twofold. Folks no longer sought out his company, and spellcaster came more easily. He never married, he died alone. This floppy yellow hat sports a wide brim darkened by sweat stains. Yeah, I'm not complaining. Yeah, he looks a bit of a pillock, but an intelligence buff, really. I mean, it's really useful. Area of effect, duration, will. It's a really good thing for a wizard to have.
Just say the word.
Put that all in the box. We can see how the
Leave it
bridge
to
is.
me.
They said it was not. They said the bridge had to collapse and no one was getting across. But we can see what can be done about that. Binges Smidley. Someone else is so. Vanessa Smidley. As you near you feel a vibration of history contained in the essence of the woman's soul. You see a crowd doubled over, staring bouts of laughter at the mischievous-eyed woman relating a tale of her last adventure involving an unusually self-conscious troll. She has them exactly where she wants them, and she throws out a punchline, sending everyone who wasn't already smiling into tears of laughter. She curtsies at the crowd with a flourishing and wicked grin and makes her way to the bar, quickly followed by a legion of eager suitors, each trying to buy her affections of drinks. She turns each of them away, but none leave without a smile. She enjoys her drink, content, and starts to scribble down the beginnings of her next performance, laughing at her own jokes. Yeah, not bad.
Just say the word.
Looks like Andra's gushing enough for both moves.
Right, let's see. Oh, this is the man's soul again. Let's see. Ooh, this is a long one. Man, this is a long one. You see a battlefield covered in bodies. There is death everywhere, and the sound of metal on metal ringing over the gory, stained ground. The cries of the wounded fill the air, occasionally masked by the death knell of another casualty. This man is running, but from what you cannot see, his breath comes in laboured gasps. His eyes are wide and terror-filled. As he runs, he wrestles with a blood-splattered tunic. He tears at the fabric as if it burns his skin desperately. Desperation etching small moaning sounds from the back of his throat. His foot catches on an arm sticking out from a pile of bodies he is trying to maneuver around, and he spills forward, landing on a fallen soldier. Looking into his dead eyes, the mewling increases intensity as he scrabbles backwards, trying to push himself off the body. His hand slips on a blood-soaked arm and he topples to the side, landing on his back. He starts shaking his head, cheeks wet with terrified eyes. He pushes himself to his knees and he surveys the battlefield, eyes wide, breathing so quick he's almost hyperventilating, stumbling backwards into motion. His hands return to the tunic, eyes swinging wildly about, surveying the carnage around him. His frantic fingers finally tear the tunic from his chest and he throws it to the ground, the sounds of battle still echoing in his ears as he flees. Okay, so he's a deserter then.
Yeah.
He's, from the sounds of it, he was in a battle, he lost, he took off his side's colours and he's basically run, so he's a deserter. I mean, historically, most casualties in battles occur because of routes more than anything else. A lot of them don't. The actual fighting, unless you're in like a really nasty battle, a lot of people don't die in the actual melee. They die in the route that follows. Especially like for example, the Battle of Towton, which is like the most bloodiest battle in the War of the Roses. They had like an obscene, most medieval battles at the time, like you can expect to have casualties, maybe not as high as like 15, maybe 20% at most. The Battle of Towton, the casualty figures vary percentage-wise, but it goes up to, like, on the losing side, the casualty losing side was something like 50 to 60%, like maybe even higher. And that was because most of the people got killed in the rout, like a large percentage. I think it's like 60, maybe 70% of the forces enemy, like at the losing side at Towton, got butchered. It was a really nasty battle. They were on a plateau. It's going to take me a day and 4 hours. Chanters can do more than just chant. Yeah, the Battle of Towton, like if you want to look it up, the Battle of Towton was like a really, really nasty battle. Right, so the bridges are lit, or the beacons are lit. We are through the gate. So what did we actually get fixed? We got... The Western Barbican is still being repaired. The main keep is being worked on. The West Barbican was fixed. No, the Eastern Barbican was fixed. We're working on the West Barbican and the keep is being worked on. Right. We still have to go below as well. At least we forget about that. I just want to stick my head inside the axle keep itself since we've got it repaired. I want to see what it looks like. I mean, this is basically our main hub. For all those of you interested, this is the main hub, our main base of operations for the rest of the campaign, for the rest of the game. Like, we come back here, you get bonuses, there'll be quests. We will need to hire mercenaries at some point. Otherwise, they will attack us. People who attack us, if we leave party members and people here, they can take on jobs, which is nice. Let's go down here. We're in this bit, it's being cleared up a bit. It's some kind of library. Spiders have taken residence in the empty cells. Yeah, this is like a library.
Just say the word.
But it's still a mess. This map shows a Deerwood's old colonial borders. A settlement called New Dunrid is marked in the place of the present-day Defiance Bay.
Just say the word.
Man, that's a really old map then, if it was only just starting off as a colony. Right. Right. Some basic work has been done. It's been made slightly livable. We still have to go beneath the city itself. Like our journal of things we need to do. The master below. I am the new steward. My new steward has informed me that long ago a powerful Engwathan constructed a labyrinthine dungeon beneath Cadnur, now known as the endless path of Ordnur. Ordnur was killed by the people of his time for his deed, but the steward claims that a powerful force still dwells within the ruins. Whenever someone attempts to take possession of Cadnur, this master below stirs awake and sends forth a flood of monsters to reclaim it. I do not deal with sinister presence. I may eventually share the same fate as the Adrians who tried to claim the land long ago. I need to basically explore. I intend to settle in the stronghold. It's likely I would have to contend with the master below. My steward has urged me to descend into the endless paths and seek out his enemies so that Cadnur is finally at peace. You can use hotkeys for your abilities. Indeed. Yeah, this place is still a tit. I mean, we have to pay stuff to get this. And it's going to be one of the things that I will buy soon is the barracks, so we can actually have guardsmen. It's good to see you here, my lady. I can feel the change in the air already. Very much to do. Is there anything I can help you with? What is the state of the keep? Where to begin? Let's see. Okay, yeah. So she just basically shows this. She doesn't have any more information. Party management. Okay. Hirelings. You must build a barracks to recruit hirelings. We will need to do that soon, to be honest. I really don't like the idea of having our castle undefended. There's nothing in our treasuries. I mean, we've got a lot of stuff that needs to be fixed. Excuse me 1 second. Sorry about that, folks. Just trying to fix a technical issue with another game. Right. Let's get going, shall we? Yeah, so we will need to build a barracks soon. That's probably my next goal, is to build a barracks. Once we build a barracks, we can get some more soldiers in to garrison, and then we can start building some of the more nicer amenities. I will be going underneath the castle soon, just so we can start doing the master below thing. Otherwise, it may become a problem. I don't know. I've never done that particular mission. Right. We can go to Deerwood Village. That's been marked on the map, or the Wooded Plains. Right, we need to go to the Wooded Plains because that would take us to the Adwelan Bridge to get us into the city. I mean, Deerford Village, and there's the Twin Elms are over there. But first we need to go to the Wooded Plains, and that would take us 18 hours. Your character's biography writes itself, yours has developed. A nice thing, actually, that's hasn't been mentioned is that your decisions in this game carry over into Pillars of Awakening 2. So if whatever decisions you make, folks, whatever decisions you make in this game will have consequences in the next one. So be careful of what you decide. So what's this? But okay, it's more of these things. I mean, they're nice, but I'm not really going to read them, to be honest. Let's go along this road. Okay, there's a...
Hush, Itumok. We'll just wait a little longer.
What's this? North to Cadnoir, west to Defiance Bay. And who is this? It seems to be a dwarf with a hound, so let's talk to her. Or a wolf. Sagani, a dwarf woman dressed in skins and hides, leans against the road marker. Her face is turned down, her eyes darkened by a thick strap of face paint. She sharpens a bone arrowhead with a scrimsaw hand. Ooh, scrimsaw! I love scrimsaw. It's basically like etch work on bone. Scrimsaw handled knife. Her attention, however, is focused on the bear figurine between her feet. A large white-furred fox stands at her heels, looks up at you as you approach.
Easy, Itumok. It's not him.
This outfit may be flattering, but I'm definitely not a him. You declare. She lifts a hand, looks at you. No argument there. It's just not you I'm looking for. Who are you waiting for? You declare. You inquire.
Short version? I'm looking for a very, very old friend. I'm not sure what skin he's wearing now, but I'll know him when I see him.
Your friend is supposed to meet you here. Standing around here is probably not the most productive thing you could do. Can I help you find him? Let's go with that one. Standing around here is probably not the most productive thing you could do. Perhaps not, but running around all over the Deerwood hasn't done much good so far. The fox next to her yawns. Your friend's supposed to meet you here, you inquire?
That's what I heard. Of course, the man who told me so was carrying a staff he claimed was made from dragon bone, but I know Whitewood when I see it. That should have been my first clue, but I had to try something.
Back up. Why does this stranger have to do with your friend? Try something? What exactly are you talking about?
The long version. Here we go. I'm from an island to the far south called Nasitok. I came here looking for a village elder, a man we knew as Persok. I'm a hunter back home, so tracking someone wouldn't normally be a problem. But Persok's trail is cold, to say the least.
How long have you been looking for Persog? Why can't you find him? There can't be many of your people in the Deerwood. Like, how long have you been looking for Persog? Her painted brow lowers, and her compact muscle frame sags for just an instant. 5 years. And you can't find him? There can't be many of your people in the Deerwood. He died when I was still young. Forgot to mention that part, did I? I'm looking for his latest reincarnation, which could be anyone. So you've been searching for 5 years for a stranger who you barely remember, who could be anyone now, you declare in disbelief.
That about sums it up.
Then it must be an important duty. Actually, I know how you feel. Sounds like a waste of time. Why do you have to find Persog? Like, sounds like a waste of time, declares Gwen.
Feels like it some days. Especially when I can't get so much as a flicker out of that thing.
She looks down at the Adra figure in the dirt. How does the statuette figure into it? She dusts the figurine on her trouser and raises it to her flat palm. It's carved into the shape of a bear, smooth and round. The polished Adra is worn to the dull matter along its arched back and avoided haunches. A soft glow emanates from within.
Cute, isn't it? It belonged to Persok. Before he returned to the wheel, he left a splinter of his soul in it. Something to help us find him later.
As he holds it to you, feel the wisps of sensation, not quite memories, but a trace of someone.
When I left Nasitok, it was completely dark inside. But as I've gotten closer to Persok, it's glowed steadily brighter. Since I've reached the Deerwood, however, it's gotten hard to read. Some days it flickers and goes dark. Others it shines nice and bright. For a few hours. But most of the time it looks just like this.
I could take a look at it. What we do now? Maybe it's broken. Persol could be further away. Could take a look at it.
I've heard that one before. Whole reason I'm standing here is because some so-called watcher from Forkvale told me he could take a look. For a few golden dukes, of course. I was on my way out of the Balmarsh when I heard talk of a traveling mystic who could supposedly see souls. I knew it was a long shot, but what did I have to lose? I went to see this fellow and gave him the Audra figurine. He made a big show of moaning and rolling his eyes, and after I'd given him 5 golden dukes to lift the shroud, he told me to seek the crossroads in the field between the Wolf's Lair and the twining trees.
What's the Wolf's Lair? Defiance Bay, locals of the current Duke Wolfgren. Sounds like he's been fun to drink with. Is the twining trees a real place? He meant the Twin Elms. I haven't been there yet, but I hear there's some especially memorable trees. You just shrug and go on.
He thought he was being vague, but I know the area well enough to recognize that he meant this place. Right between Defiance Bay and Twin Elms. I had a bad taste in my mouth, but my coin was spent and I'd already left an arrow in his knapsack as a friendly warning. Told him I'd come back and leave him with another if it turned out he was giving me the runaround. I've been here a week now. Guess he had the last laugh after all.
You could still go after the false watcher, you declare. He swats at the air. I was mostly trying to scare him. I wouldn't kill a man over a few gold pieces. I don't have much use for coin anyway. Besides, knowing his type, he's cleared out of town by now and spent whatever he's made. May I see the figurine? You inquire.
Why?
Why not? You counter.
Fine. But if you try to run, just remember that my arrows are faster.
She hands you the figurine, her capped knuckles grazing her hand. She watches you examine it, wary but curious. You raise the Adra bear, turning it in the light. As your eyes catch a tiny glint stretch, the scenery around you melts away. You're standing on a cliff overlooking water, seeing through the eyes that aren't your own. You catch the musk of beasts amidst the fresh scent of vegetation, and your heart beats a little faster. You'll have to watch your step up here. You look down just long enough to see a sharp pale cliff drop into the water hundreds of feet below. Return the figurine. I've got it. He's standing on a cliff. I see a vision of cliffs high over the water. Does that sound familiar? You question it in his greeted shrugs and silence. I've got it. He's standing on a cliff.
What are you talking about? What just happened?
You look at her. I'm a real watcher. She blinks at you a few times, calculating. I know it sounds strange, but it's the truth, mutters Elof, in agreement.
You realize I've got no coin to give you, even if I did believe you.
Come with me, I've got other business in the area. We could look for Persog on the way. Take the information and leave it, but good luck on either way. Then stay here for all I care. I've got other things to do, you declare.
Good hunting to you.
Okay, so let's try and hire her then. Back again, she turns to the bare figurine of her hands. Whatever you're looking for, I hope you have better luck than me. Curled up in a bed of leaves, Utamak yawns. Alright, let's go. Let's recruit her. Come with me, I've got other business in the area, and we can go look for Persog on the way. Right.
Bye.
Once a character has been dismissed from your party, they will return to either the Black Hound Inn in Gilded Vale or to your stronghold if you acquired it. Okay. So let's recruit her. She's a ranger, level 4. Rose, you have been useful to me, but now you must return to the stronghold and guard it. Travel to the cliffs seen in the vision. We've got Itamark. We have to be careful. Rangers take penalties. From my memory, Rangers take penalties for, well, pretty much for losing their companions, so it's not fantastic. Right, she's got what, a hunting bow. Damage is 12 to 16. Slow reload. I would prefer to have a crossbow, just because it's a nice bow, but So if we get her to switch out for this, double axes. She's got fine hide armor. 2 damage reduction, okay. Do we have anything that's better for her to wear? So that's 7 damage reduction, plus 2 because it's fine quality. The only thing we could give her is medium armor. That's 25. No, she's got the best thing on that she can have. I'll give her. Actually, that is something I will give her. She can have that cloak, because it means that she can disengage quicker from fights, and we'll give her the hood as well. It doesn't do anything, but I like my characters to have like headwear and stuff, just because it makes them look cool. Right, is there anything we can give? Well, I do need, to be honest, I do need to basically start making like provisions and stuff. Actually, that increases his intelligence. And as much as I like him with that, him having better intelligence is... Oh god, it's ugly. I mean, we could give it to her. But no, it doesn't suit her because he's supposed to be a ranger. I do need to buy healing potions and supplies and stuff, to be honest. Like, make food. That's something that I do need to buy. I do need to buy the ingredients to make food. Right.
Just say the word.
So we can... Hirelings. We must be in the stronghold to recruit and dismiss party members. Okay. That's still being worked on. The West Barbican's still being worked on.
Just say the word.
So let's have a look around this area first for a little bit. Actually, let's... I need to fix my... Yeah, that will... There we go, that will do.
Yeah.
That's a lion. What's a lion doing out... Sorry, what's a lion doing out in the middle of nowhere? What's that? Mark prey. Once per encounter, designate a single target as prey, giving the ranger animal companion a damage bonus against the target. Wounding shots. As he or she would flee fleeing prey. The hunter aims for a spot that will slow the target's enemy aggression, hobbling the target, inflicting raw damage over time. Okay, let's do that. You shoot it. You beat on its ass. You smack it with a spell, and Gwen, Ravenheart, and Space Pig are going to charge. Man, it's tough. Okay. Mark prey. Oh, we killed it at least.
Yeah.
What's a lion doing out in the middle of nowhere? I ask you this. Like, it's a lion. Are there going to be tigers and bears as well? Oh my. Right, let's get up here. Have a look around. It's night time, so it's not probably the best time to be doing this. Okay, there's 2 of them. That's not good. We might have to use spells. Yep, we're going to probably have to use spells. Okay, you shoot that one. You shoot this one. Beat on that one. Beat on this one. Hit that. Oh Okay, there's more than one. You smack that one. This is going to be fun. I didn't realise there was more than two. Okay. Gwen is taking a pounding. I might have to use this ability. Release another blast, and these guys... You can do one of your abilities, can you? No, sorry, wrong thing. I can't use that yet. Okay. Wolf, go... Well. Okay. Pop that ability. Continue to kill that. I am going to have to break out a big spell. Okay. Second wind yourself, man. Whew. Man, that was nasty.
Just say the word.
Too many lines for my liking. Right.
I'm on it.
So what's this? Waves are roughly etched into the stone. The grasp of the Ordred's fingers. They grasp at the Ordred's beloved moon like curling fingers. Right. Half harvests. This hunting hatchet has a leather-wrapped handle and silvered blade, covering its fine etched flames. When the blade is coated in the blood of prey or opponent, the etching glows of fiery gold, roaring to life. Even at rest, the hatchet smells faintly of smoke. So its deflection, actually it's quite good, and damage, actually that is quite good. We'll give it to her. Everybody else gets them. We put the money into the group pocket. And there we go. That was a nasty encounter I hadn't expected to find up here. And there's some more berries. Spring berries. Whew. Boy, that was nasty. We haven't searched most of the map yet. But we're coming to the end, so what I will always do, as I've been doing recently, is I shall read another book. So we can get through the lore. The Great Western Stag. One day, Eophus was sitting on a wall watching a cat play in the sun. A crystal hung in a nearby tree had fragmented a sunbeam and scattered small motes of light on the ground. They danced around the cat, sliding over him as he frantically batted at them. He stood in place, following one as it rushed past him, and leapt on it, trying to pin it down. Eophus smiled, amused at the animal's tenacity. The cat landed on a spot, placing his paw over it, only to watch it flitter away again. Eophus watched the cat's tail twitch and slap at the ground, annoyed that his prey could not be pinned. "Why must you tease him?" a voice said from behind him, accompanied by the crunch of sandals on the gravel. "I merely bring the dawn," Eophus responds. "I do not stoke the hunter's heart, but it's your responsibility, isn't it?" "True," says the second voice, "but neither did you quell it. If the hunter could not see his prey, would he still hunt?" "So philosophical, Hela," Eophus said as he turned to greet the two gods that approached him. "Have you come to debate the parallel between sight and desire?" He gestured to the wall, inviting Hela and Galawin to join him. They sat in silence, watching the cat, who continued to hunt the sun, fruitlessly swatting at another mot, then rolling onto his back. "I have created the ultimate prey," Eophus says, finally breaking the silence. "It can be tracked, it can be followed, it can be seen, but it can never be caught." Galawin laughed lightly. "You don't agree, Galawin?" Eophus asked. "While it's true that your creation is elusive, it hardly can be considered the ultimate prey because it can never be caught." He paused, his brow furrowed, and thought, if that mot of light had substance, the hunter could subdue it. Otherwise it's merely a dream, merely a fruitless endeavour. "All creatures spend their lives chasing fruitless endeavours," says Hela. "It is the way of mortality." Gallowin laughs again. I could create a creature, a living creature of flesh and blood, but could never be caught, or I'd make you dream a reality. Now it was Aophis' turn to laugh. You propose turning a fruitless dream into a fruitless reality. How is that any better? A life spent in the pursuit of an attainable goal far exceeds any other. But you just said no one could catch the creature. That is not attainable. Galawen smiled. Humanity has surprised us before. Indeed, it could surprise us again. I will create a great white stag, and I shall set it free into the world. It will have the grace, the resilience, and the tenacity. It will exist solely in the pursuit for all of its days, and will never be caught. It will serve to inspire the hunt for generations to come. All those who wish for glory will invoke my name, and all those who hear its story will ask for my blessing to find it. Hala shook her head and threw Galawen a bemused look. I do not believe this is possible, so I too make an offer. To the person who catches a stag, and they will catch a stag, I will bestow upon them its grace, resilience, and tenacity. Thrice blessed they will be, thrice blessed they will be. They will ask for my blessing on the hunt, so they can obtain my boon. Galloway and Hala took up arguing whose name would invoke more when the hunt was on. Eophis sighed, a small smile playing at the edge of his mouth. He stood and looked to the sky. The sun had already started to hide itself behind the mountains. The cat, long ago tired of stalking the motte, had fallen asleep beneath the tree. He turned and looked at the other gods, deep in debate, and sighed again. I merely bring the dawn, he repeated as he made his way down the path. It is up to you to see what I reveal. That is not a bad story. A very enjoyable one indeed. But that is where we are going to end, lords and ladies, for today. We have a new companion and her foxy associate. If you have liked, please press the like button. If you wish to subscribe, please press the subscription button. You can follow me on Twitter, you can follow me on Steam, or you can leave a comment in the comment section, and I will get back in contact with you. I've been Cornish-Knight. This has been Pillars of Eternity, and I shall see you all next time on the next chapter of Gren Wavenheart's adventures and Space Pig. Goodbye.